Welcome back. You are still watching Parliament TV on channel 408. Don't forget us to join us, on our social media platform, Parliament of RSA. We have just witnessed a very robust session where commitments were made by the leadership as well as the mayors, the Parliament leadership. And one of those leaders is here with us, and that is none other than Me Motlagomang Kabate, who is the Social Development MEC in the Free State. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Yes, ma'am. And the women were very much robust about progress that has been made in terms of their development and making their lives better, and as well with regards a way forward. What has the Department of Social Development done in that regard?
Well, the Department of Social Development is not necessarily leading in terms of economic development issues, but it has played its part because we have women co-ops that we have established. After establishing, we help them that we should buy from them as government in order to give them a kickstart. And we are continuing to go and help women with spaza shops, particularly in the rural areas of Tabanchu, where transport is not accessible. We have had complaints from elder people and people with disabilities that they don't have where they access grants from. They also are taking long journeys after buying their goods. So that's why we are introducing spaza shops in these areas, and they are going to be led by women. But the other thing that other departments are doing, so that I should speak on behalf of other departments also, the police, roads and transport under roads have had a community development program where they put women to go and construct the roads, to also rehabilitate the roads, and it's a program that is still ongoing. Under agriculture, the Free State province has helped women to access land, has helped them with implements, has helped them with the market to sell their products. Those are some of the things, if I could mention a few of the things that we have done. But of course, women are still saying, we appreciate what you have done, but there is still a lot to do. We are still struggling. We want to see the non-operating firms that are here in Botshabelo responding to us in terms of helping us to stand on our own feet. Yeah.
And ma'am, you also spoke about issues related to the LGBTQI community as well as the child-headed families, a program that is done that you lead as social development. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, we have a lot of families which are now child-headed. Particularly, we were challenged by COVID. We have seen many children losing their parents. Now, as social development, we have a program that deals with orphans and vulnerable children. Under that program, we are placing these child-headed homes with parents who can adopt them and ensure that we don't take them to shelters, but they still grow within their own families with someone mentoring them from their own homes. That's the program that we are leading. But those that are most vulnerable, we are taking them to the shelters. We are having two, one here in Bloemfontein, one in Kwakwa, for those that are really vulnerable and can't live within their own families. Yes. Yeah.
And you spoke about contractor development as a program, and there is something that, how many of women thus far have benefited from this one? Do you have a number?
I don't have the number of the contractors, but we have a number of those employed under contractor development, which is at the moment more than 300 women having employed under the program. because it is continuous, because they, they work on interval basis. Others would be doing tiling and then go out, others come in, maybe put in the doors and the windows. I can't give a definite number at the moment. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's just lastly to speak about the issues regarding gender responsive budget in the province, how that is, as well as gender equity in terms of the leadership, because the Premier mentioned that in the province there is a worry that the leadership, the apex or the executive leadership, especially like your HODs and so on, there is absence of women's representation in that regard. What is it that can be done regarding that?
But there is an improvement.
Yes.
Because when the Premier came into office, we didn't have women HODs. But under her leadership, we are having 4 women now who are HODs. We have also seen an increase in other levels. Your level 13, we have seen women increasing to take leadership. In terms of the budget itself, that it be genderized, it's still a challenge. We are going there. The 15 billion budget that is supposed to be dealing with procurement, 12% of it is focusing on women. It's not a good percent, but taking that we didn't have that percent, it was lower. We are saying we are taking steady, gradual steps to reach where we are supposed to reach to. But we also appreciate this review, because it is pushing us from time to time to remember and do well on the mandate given. Because, when we think of Melukas, she's coming. We need to do things right. Thank you very much.
Yes, but lastly, the one that I cannot leave without asking is this issue regarding gender-based violence, the scourge that is across this country. But there has been an act that has been introduced. How, especially in the police stations, how far is the implementation of this act?
Yeah, gender-based violence is now a pandemic. Seriously, we are highly challenged. But what we are doing in the province, until up to now, since the last visit, we have already opened 3 shelters that are working very closely with the police stations. When women are attacked from their homes, when they run to the police station, they also have a shelter where they can go to whilst they are being helped to open dockets and all that. But also social development comes in through the shelter to go to the family and try to mend the relations. Because what we are doing, we are not encouraging that families should be broken. We are encouraging family values. So we would go there, we would negotiate with them. Where we see that relations are mendable, then we help the woman to go back with the children to the home. Where we see that relations are irreparable, we advise the woman that rather do not go back there again. Police stations, it's a challenge that many of our police stations are still not compliant in terms of being sensitive to opening cases of gender-based violence, of rape and other things. We still have a challenge that other areas, police stations are too far away. We still have a challenge that in other areas, cases are handled by men. And those are the things that we are fighting to achieve, to win over them. We have 28 police stations that we are assessing to put them in a program that we better relations, and then we benchmark from them thereafter going forward.
Ma'am, thank you so much. We've gained a lot from this session, from the leadership and what the leadership has done We thank you just so much. That was Memo Tlhagomang Khabate, who is the Social Development MEC of the Free State Province. Next, we will be talking to the Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Ms. Sylvia Lucas. Just stay tuned. Welcome back to Parliament Television, and don't forget to join us on our social media platforms. Yes, the promise we made is the promise we keep. I am now with the Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Ms. Sylvia Lucas, to talk to us about what really happened in the Free State Province, because much as the other provinces, Free State was robust, Free State was talking. Ma'am, welcome.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to the viewers on Parliament TV, as we are just concluding the 8th province in terms of our report back session on the Women's Charter.
Yes, ma'am. And the women were not different. They spoke. But also what I loved was the energy the Premier of the province had and the report. Just give us what your observation about and the review about what happened today.
I think Free State report back session was one of those that you feel very satisfied, that you can feel that indeed the executive haven't just listened to us when we report to them on the high level session. They have also actually jumped in and make sure that they hit the ground running after we have actually consulted with them. Because remember, after the review session, we have taken all the districts of the Free State. After we have concluded that, we had a high-level session with the Premier and the Executive Committee. And the Council, in actual fact, they took note of the things that we have actually observed. But also, if you remember, the Commission on Gender Equality in the Free State was very involved when we had the first session. And even after this, they continue to be involved in making sure that there is implementation of the issues and the areas that have been raised by the woman. So the Free State, I think, there is just a commitment that you sometimes want to see more from other areas. Because in terms of attendance, first of all, the Premier, with so many of our MECs, but also the district, the metro, as well as the district municipalities, we actually got an indication that they will be attending. Although in the end, we could only have the metro and Fezile Dabi district. Because of connectivity, Lejuele Putswa could not really got locked on. But I think the Free State took us very serious. I think that is the first thing that we must acknowledge. They took us very serious, which means they are taking the women and the people of the Free State very serious. Since the last time that we were here, already, just in terms of the institutional or the structural or systemic changes that happened, that they have already employed or deployed 4 female heads of departments. And something that I have observed is that the financial, the CFO of social development is also a woman. It's a woman, and that is why I'm saying they have really decided to really work on the issues. They even have employed 5 gender focal persons in the Premier's office, each for every district. And if you have listened to the FFC's report, they have actually commended the Premier's office for the fact that they took serious the issues of gender and of women, and to make sure that there is an improvement in gender equity and as well as inequality overall, not only in the administration, but overall. So it is something that you can really feel that there is progress made. There is this area of taking the issue of women and the issue of gender equity, gender equality, taking it serious. And that is coming directly from the Premier's office, because they, in all the programs that they are having, they have shown commitment as to making sure that there is women empowerment. And what I loved of the fact that the Premier, when she reported on the issue, is how they started to begin to address the issue of unemployed graduates, making sure that the majority of them are women, and then also the issue of agriculture, how they made sure that women get access to land. Remember, land was one of the issues that was raised by the women before, but also the issue of the Commission on Gender Equality, how they started to assist on issues of customary marriage, but also the cultural issues that we spoke about before. So what I have generally observed in the engagement with the Free State is that they were able to respond question by question of the issues that we have raised. They have, in actual fact, they took our report and they analyzed it, and they started to coordinate the work, even of policing forums, even of the gender-based violence, and all of that was quite coordinated. Their approach, I love the approach that the Free State have taken in making sure that they work together. And that was also something that was observed by the CGE. It's just that at the level of municipalities, they still need, a lot of work still need to be done. But also if you look at the metro, they have started also targeting women, graduates, and also learnerships and internships. There is a focus approach to making sure that women become part and parcel of the equation. But even the issue of EPWP, CWP, remember EPWP, CWP, that is the kind of activity that is actually addressing the issue of poverty. So that is why I'm saying, I think Free State is making good progress, and we need to commend the Premier because she's involved, she's engaged, and that is the reason why people, MECs also feel that they need to do their best, they need to do better, because they have seen that they have got a leader that is really addressing these issues. But also if you look at how social development is addressing different issues across the spectrum, then it means there is a very good cooperation within the executive. And we would really want to see the issues that have been raised today by the women. It's about, and we know wherever we went, the issue of crime and safety of our communities, of our elderly, that is the kind of things that was raised here. But we would also want the Premier's Office and Social Development to look into the plight of the elderly, particularly women. Because if you have listened to the issues, you have listened and you have saw that women were the ones, all of them, that came to the fore and speak to us in wanting us to assist them for their government to be able to address their issues. And I think really there was a moment, also a moment where we were really, really very sober and solemn, and that is when the Premier observed a moment of silence for the victims of the bus accident. It was a very serious accident that happened just here next to Botshabela on the N8. Yes, so it was also in that context that we saw the kind of empathy that is existing there, and that is why we are satisfied that we will come back to Free State and see even more being done to address the plight of women, to address the issues of gender equity in the administration, in the government, and generally in society.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for speaking to us, and we will speak more. KZN must now wait to welcome us.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Just another issue. I was just requested by Speaker to represent her in Togo, where we will also be attending a gender-based violence summit or seminar that is arranged by the African Union, African Parliamentary Union, as well as the Inter-Parliamentary Union. And I think the issue of gender-based violence and gender equity, the more we put it on the agenda, the more we escalate it, it is assisting us to address the plight of women, not only in South Africa, but on the continent as well as globally. We need to make sure that our voices are heard.
No,
Thank
and
you.
definitely, ma'am, we know that you will represent our country and the continent very well in Togo. Thanks, ma'am. That was Ma'am Lucas, who is leading this, the implementation of all the objectives of the Women's Charter review, the new Women's Charter, as well as the report back session. Next time, you will see us in the KwaZulu-Natal province. Just stay tuned. Women's issues are women's issues are women's issues. We need to really recognize women as part of the communities, as part of this country, and make sure that they are listened to. That was it, and that is it from us. We will see you next time in KZN. Thank you very much.